Historically, I'm a binge reader when it comes to series. I will read an entire series in a couple of days. I don't usually leave the next book until months and weeks and years down the road. However, 2023 got away from me, and I decided to start tracking how many series I have started and how many I have finished and how many I'm caught up on, and the results were a little shocking. It's snowing outside. It's like actually snowing, and I am gonna get so distracted by that. Hey y'all, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a series audit because I think it's time. Historically, I am really good at finishing series. I don't tend to abandon series unless I officially decide I'm not going to finish the series. I have a tendency to read all of the books right at once. What I didn't think about in that thought process was the fact that there are quite a few series that I have started because of this channel that the next book wasn't out yet, and the next book has since come out and I have not read them, especially during 2023. And so I went through every series I have ever started in my life from middle school on, honestly. I did not count Magic Tree House and stuff, but from middle school on, I counted every book, every series that I have ever read, whether I finished it, when I finished it. I went back through lots of data, and the results were really surprising, actually. I may not be doing as great as I thought. I have seen multiple other booktubers do a series audit, and I knew I needed to do one. I knew there were books that I needed to read based off of 2023. I did not realize some of these series would go so far back that I haven't finished. So I took a lot of inspiration from various booktubers, but I got my spreadsheet to track all of this from Covers with Cassidy. I really liked the way that she set hers up, so I set mine up pretty much identical to hers because her way of doing things just matches very well with my brain. So I'm going to show y'all the spreadsheet. Alright, so this is the spreadsheet. It is all color-coded. All of the series are on the left here. It's got kind of a weird filter on it right now. But basically, if it doesn't have a color, it means that I am in the middle of it. I'm not caught up. If it's green, the series is finished and I have finished it. If it is yellow, I am caught up, but the series isn't technically complete. So you can see I have a lot. Oh, I also forgot red. Red means that I DNF'd the series. I decided I am not going to finish that series, but I did technically start it, but I have no intentions of finishing it. So you can see that I have quite a few series that I have a lot that I've finished, but I also have a lot that I'm in the middle of. I also color-coded what year I read them in. I only started tracking my reading in 2020, so anything that I read prior to that is all lumped into that same blue category. Pulled a lot of stats from this. There is a lot of good data here. There's also a lot of uncolored things. So let's talk stats, because y'all know I am a stats girl. I love stats, and I am going to get so distracted by this snow. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. Alright, so total number of series that I have started pretty much ever. I did not include children's books, Magic Tree House, things like that. I did not include a lot of the lower level middle grade that was read in elementary school, but I did include anything that was 6th grade and up for the most part. It gets a little murky in there, but the total number was 107, which if you think about it, a lot of series that I read are 4, 5, 6 plus books. That's a lot of books. That is a lot of books that I have taken on here. And that doesn't even include any standalones that I've read. There's a lot of books. So I wanted to see how many of those series I was starting when, since I did go back so far. I was kind of curious to see how many of these series did I start pre-booktube days versus once I started booktube. And the results were, 2019 was the year I got married. So basically anything from before I got married counts for this number, and I started 23 series in all of that time, which is a lot of series, especially because some of them were 9 or 10 books long. But 2020, y'all. 2020 was when I started booktube, and I started 24 series in that year alone. I started one more series in that year than in all of the years prior. That is insane. And it makes sense because I was starting to film. You know, I wasn't very consistent on here yet. I wasn't really doing a whole lot, but we were also in lockdown, and so it makes a lot of sense. But I did start 24 series in 2020, and that just keeps going from there, because the next year in 2021 I started 29 series, and 2022 I started 27. And we're not going to talk about 2023 because, I mean, okay, we will. So I was averaging like 25 new series a year, which makes a lot of sense, fits very well. I mean, I read generally over 100 books a year. 2023, I started 4 series. So that was a little depressing, but also probably a good thing because I wasn't catching up on series either. So I probably did myself a favor there. Out of that 107 total series started, I have officially DNF'd 14. So there are 14 series that I have 100% decided I am not going to finish these series. I don't like it. I don't want to finish it. And if we're being honest, there's probably a few more on the list that should be in that category, but just have not been made official yet. That might be a future video of making some more of those official. That means that we're really only looking at 93 series that I have either completed or intend to complete. Out of the 93 series, I have completed 47, which is about 51%, which is pretty good. I'm not mad about that. That means that over half, just slightly over half of the series that I have started, I have completed. They are off my list. They are done. I reread them a lot, so like, they still come back into the show. They still take up a lot of my reading time, but they are finished. So that is progress. I am also caught up on an additional 11 books, which is 12%. So 63% of my series are completed, or at least as completed as they can be. A couple of those are going to change this year, so hopefully I stay caught up on those. But for now, I don't think that's really that bad. 63%. That's over half. That does mean that I am behind on 35 series. And if you think about it, a lot of those series I am behind by more than one book. Some of them I'm only behind by like 2 books. Some of them I am behind by like 5 or 6 books. So there's a lot of books behind that number 35, which is about 38% of the series total. So we got some work to do this year for sure. And I worry about this number because I do not remember things that I read for very long. And I don't think it's necessarily the volume of books that I read. Like, I hear a lot of people that aren't booktubers and don't read the amount of books that we read that are saying things like, oh, you read 100 books a year, you don't remember half of them. Like, that doesn't even count. Like, how are you even enjoying the books that you read? Like, y'all, I could read 3 books a year and I still wouldn't remember anything from them. Like, that, I don't have the capacity in my brain to hold on to plots. I just don't. That is why I'm a big rereader. I don't know what else to say about that. That's just who I am as a person. I can't help that. I can't fix it. I have tried. I just don't hold on to that information for very long. So a lot of times when I start a series and then I don't read the next book right away, I forget everything that happened, and then I have to reread however many books. And so I will reread, you know, if I'm on book 8, I'll reread the first 7, and then I'm just taking up so much time constantly rereading to catch myself back up to where I'm at, which is why I prefer to binge read series. And that is why that 38% scares me a little bit, because some of those series I'm gonna have to read the first couple of books again. Some of them I might not. Some of them I might be able to just kind of figure out. Some of them are like companion novels, so you don't need to. We'll see. We'll see. So I was curious about how many series I had started in each year and not finished. So how many series have I had that I need to finish for a really long time? And these numbers were not that bad, actually. Like, they were a testament to the fact that I do read most of the series pretty quickly. I do finish them kind of one after another. That is generally how I do things, and I think the numbers reflect that. But there were some that I was like, oh, it's been a minute. I probably need to think very long and hard about whether I'm actually going to finish this series. And in my defense, some of these were complete and have since added another book, like a companion novel, or a prequel or something that I now haven't read. So from 2019 and earlier, there are 3 series that I have not finished yet. I don't remember what they are. I do know that one of them was finished, and there has since been an edition like 5 or 6 years after the series was completed. So like, that's not really my fault. I'll get around to it eventually, probably. And then 2020 and 2021 both had 5 series in each year that I did not finish. Most of those series were not able to be completed that year. Now they have more books, and I just haven't caught up. So again, not that bad. That's 10 series total. 13 if you count pre-28. 13 if you count pre-2020. That's not that bad. 2022, however, I don't know if this number is because I read a lot of books that like the next book hadn't come out yet, or what was happening in 2022, to be honest. But I didn't finish 20 series from that year. And I do know a handful of them are books that like the next book came out in 2023, so now I'm not caught up anymore, but I was. So like part of it is 2023's fault, but also like, didn't I only start? I started 27 series in 2022. That means I only finished 7. Oh. Oh. Well, 2024 is going to be my year, y'all. We're going to fix this problem. 2023, there's only 1 series that I didn't finish, so that's not bad. I only started 4. 3 of them I finished or caught up on, and then 1 of them I need to finish now. And there's about to be a second one when the next Crescent City book comes out in like a couple weeks. So I am intending to read that one like on release day though. So that one I will be caught up on and stay caught up on. Alright, next I want to talk about my priority series, because now that I've looked at this list and done this audit and like thought about it, there's quite a few series where I only have like 1 or 2 books left, and like there's no reason why I haven't finished them. I just need to finish them. So I took my priority series based off of series that I only had 1 or 2 books left, and I already own the books or have easy access to them. That would make it really easy for me to finish. Like these are books that like I have no excuse to not finish these series. So the first book that I really need to read this year is Throne of the Fallen. This is the kind of next book, companion book type of thing to Kingdom of the Wicked. Carrie Maniscalco, y'all know I love this series. It is right up my alley. This is following another character, and I can't say much about this book, but the whole series as a whole, we're talking like witches and demons, 7 princes of hell, that type of stuff, romantasy. It was originally categorized as YA. I think it has since been bumped to adult. This one was for sure marketed as adult. It is more adult. I would not recommend it for younger readers, but I would recommend it if you like romantasy heavily, because I loved it and I really need to read this one. I know why I've been putting this one off. One, it came out last year, so like it was a rough year, but also like I don't know how much I want to read about this character, but I say that about literally every companion book I have ever read. I never want to move on from the main characters, and then I end up liking it anyways. So like, it's probably gonna be fine. I just need to actually pick it up. Next one is A Fire in the Flesh. This is the 3rd book in the Flesh and Fire series. All of the titles are starting to blur together to me. It is the prequel series to Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and you kind of have to read them like intermingled. So like you can't read this, you have to read like the first 3 or 2 Blood and Ash books, and then you read the first one of these, and then you kind of intermingle them from there, so it gets really confusing. But I do need to read this book. This came out December, maybe November, somewhere around there, so like it hasn't been that long since it's been out, but it's one of my favorite series, so I really want to finish it. I just have not had time yet. This will be a high priority very soon. Next up, we have the last 2 books in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. We have The Goal and The Legacy, and these have been on a few TBRs. I have said I was going to read them a few times, and I haven't yet. So these are kind of companion novels. They're all set in college with like hockey players. We've got like this group of hockey friends, and we're kind of following one guy in each book. So like they're connected, but it's a different romance in each one, so I don't really need to reread the other ones in order to read these, so I just need to knock these out, honestly. I just really need to hurry up and read these. Next up, we have The Brothers Hawthorne, which is the next book in the Inheritance games, and I'm thinking it's like, I don't know if it's like a direct sequel or more of a companion. Like, the original trilogy is kind of done, but like, there's a lot more that could be done with it. And I really liked the original trilogy, so I am excited to keep going. I don't think I need to reread the first 3. Probably, maybe. But I need to get this one off my list. But if you like YA, mystery, thriller, puzzle-y type stuff, this is a really solid series. Okay, this next one, I don't own the next 2 books, which I need to read, but I know they're on Libby, and I have actually asked my library to purchase them, so I'm kind of hoping they do, because I know they would be popular. So I have easy access to these, and that is the Simple Wild series. So I've read the first one. I need to read the next 2. I loved this book, and I don't know why I put off reading the next 2, because I really loved this book. This is set in Alaska. It's a romance. It's a grumpy sunshine. Like, it's got everything that I love in a romance. I don't know why I've put it off. So this needs to happen, and this needs to happen soon. Next up is one of those series from 2019. This is the one where it's like, it was done. It wasn't a series. Like, it was a standalone, and then there was another book, and I was like, okay. And now there's a 3rd book, and I'm like, okay. So, like, I don't know, because this wasn't supposed to be a series. So, like, it was finished in 2019, and then it wasn't, and now it's not again. And that is One of Us is Lying. This is the 3rd book. One of Us is back. I probably do need to reread the first 2 at this point, because it has been a very long time and I remember almost nothing. But I did like it. I know it is a YA thriller mystery and I loved it, so I think I do need to make this a priority this year because I really want to read it. And next up is the next 2 books in the Married to Magic series by Elise Kova. These are like, they're all companion novels. They're all set in the same world, but they are all different parts of the world. So they're a fantasy, they're fantasy romances, and they all follow like a different, they're not always creatures, but like a different mythical being and a human, usually. So the first 2 or 3 I read and liked, and now there's 2 more, and another one is coming out in August, so like I need to read these 2 so I'm at least mostly caught up, otherwise this is gonna get a little out of hand. Alright, those are my priority series for 2024. Hopefully I actually get to some of those. I'm going to try really hard. Reading these books aligns with so many of my like actual reading goals, getting my TBR down and all of that stuff, so this will be good. This will be great. I'm probably going to do another series audit like halfway through the year and see what progress I'm making. But if you think I should prioritize any of those series like more than others, let me know down in the comments and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!